What's going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? So we back again. Trust and believe. I really feel like, oh, I should stop saying it, but I really do feel like this is not gonna be a long video. I said that about what it is. I said, girl, hopefully I ain't got that much to talk about. Girl, I gave y'all almost 2 hours for what it is. But anyway, this is Belle Collective Season 3, Episode 9, I believe. Best Revenge is Your Paper. Anyway, you know, so we get into the episode and we see Letitia and she's talking to her mom. Basically, her mother has been watching her son because, her and Glenn still going through what they doing. They not together right now because I believe he's off at work. She's traveling for work. What work she doing? Baby, till this day, we still don't know at this moment. But she doing something that she out the house and mama been watching the little boy. So basically, they get into the little conversation about, everything that's been going on and how thankful she is that her mother is there to actually help her out, get into the status of her relationship with Glenn. Now, her and Glenn, according to her, they were on good footing, okay? Because even though they was going through their situation, his grandmother had passed away. Prior to that, Glenn up here talking about trying to basically force her to hurry up and heal, okay? Basically like, I'm over it. You should be over it. And Glenn to be thinking that way is just really baffling and mind-blowing to me, given the fact that, like Letitia's mama said, you literally had to get a DNA test to see if you was the father of somebody's child. And you want her to get over that real quick like that just because you've moved past the situation and you want your family back or whatever. But this whole situation with his grandmother passing away, that brought Letitia and him back together to a certain extent. So they was trying to get that groove back, trying to get in each other's good graces and, get back to how it was. And then here comes Cliff at the So Gucci's birthday party, talking about the fact that Letitia was there with a stripper and all this stuff and woo woo woo. JJ really got that man he flew that man out from Jamaica. Now the whole time, I don't even know if I mentioned that last week, but I don't know why in my mind, I probably heard it last week. I'm thinking that he said the guy is from Jamaica, meaning that, that's just where he's from, that's where his people from, but he's staying here in the States. Not the fact that he flew him out just to that. All right. You do what you gotta do. That's cute. It's interesting. But, moving on from that, the way that Cliff went on ahead and basically kind of interrupted and disrupted their lives for a second, their relationship, because the way he was butting in and he was basically telling lies about Letitia. Like, it's not necessarily telling lies, but he basically said your wife is up in here with a stripper and all this stuff and made it seem as if Letitia was out here doing something wrong. And at the end of the day, Letitia wasn't doing anything wrong. You even had Akeisha who said, I ain't even cool with Letitia like that, but she wasn't even doing nothing. The only person that actually was doing something was Marie, because she's the only single one in the group, okay? And, Marie was trying to get banged out that night, understandable. Do what you gotta do. You ain't had nothing in a minute, And so that had Glenn on edge, and then, Letitia said that she had to talk to Glenn, and they wound up, talking, I guess, the next day and went calmer heads. Because on the one hand, I get where Glenn's frustration is coming from. Listen, somebody is telling me that there's a stripper at a party I ain't know nothing about and my wife is there and she's supposed to be doing this and doing that. Instantly, no matter who you are, you instantly think that something happened. Unless you had that type of relationship, you could possibly think something going on, and especially if you didn't already did something yourself, you're going to automatically think the bad thing, okay? Then you got a fool like Cliff that's coming through and saying stuff and putting stuff in your mind because he basically wants you to be just like him. He wants you to have a tight leash on your wife just like him. And Glenn, he ain't really like that, but he's somewhat like that. He's trying to. The situation that, I don't know, Letitia's not in a healthy relationship. As much as they want to talk about, Latrice relationship, which we clearly can see is not a healthy relationship. We clearly can see is a toxic marriage. We clearly can see is a manipulative and not even necessarily manipulative, controlling, a domineering type of relationship. Like, she said she was looking for a daddy because she had daddy issues, and she literally went and got one, and she's being treated like a child. Okay, and it's really disheartening that that's what she's willing to put up with. But hey, it is what it is. You can tell people only so much, and I just wish people like Letitia can see that, baby. Why you up here talking about another, and I don't even care if she wasn't talking about her relationship this episode, why you up here talking about their relationship, you need to take a look at what your relationship is, because your relationship is just as toxic. Your husband out here cheating on you. Your husband out here possibly fathering kids. You had to get a DNA. Your husband out here following you. Your husband out here putting trackers on you, popping up on you, trying to force you to hurry up and heal and get back, and basically saying, I ain't breaking up my family. My son growing up in a 2-parent household and all this stuff, trying to force you to do stuff or whatever. That's a form of abuse. I hate to say the word, but that's mental abuse, that's emotional, that's psychological. And then you got the same thing going on with Latrice, okay? Y'all are damn near the same and don't even realize it. You're damn near the same and don't even realize it. And it's quite sad, to be honest. So, even her mama said, you putting up with Glenn, to be quite frank, I probably would have been left his ass. Mind you, Letitia said her mama been married 6 times. Even though my mama been married 6 times, I said, man, maybe you just need to be single or just have you a little piece on the side. Don't get married no more, all right? It's not worth it, girl. Obviously, in your case, it's just not worth it, okay? But, they gonna try to get that back on track. Girl, mama said, Letitia said that, she out here doing it. She out here traveling. She out here putting events together. She about to go on tour, a brunch lady tour. I said, girl, no. She said, yes, I'm still throwing brunches. I said, wow. I said, y'all going, and she got a book coming out. I said, all right. She said, I'm booked and busy. I guess, girl. Moving on from there, the whole situation with Akeisha. Was that the whole thing with Letitia? That was everything for Letitia this episode. This episode practically was just about Akeisha and her health problems, and then trying to get the other girls, so Gucci and Latrice, back together. Akeisha has a health problem. She was talking to her husband, and I'm glad that they put something like this. You know what? When it comes to these reality shows, especially these black reality shows, mainly, that's what I'm focusing on. I appreciate when they bring up health issues that a lot of us black folks go through. Yes, we know that a lot of people, no matter what color, what race, what ethnicity, they have health problems such as, high blood pressure and stuff like that. But we see it a lot more, I feel, in the black community, maybe because that's the only community that, not the only community, but that's mostly who I'm around and what I focus on. So we see it a lot, so therefore we hear it mentioned a lot in our community, the black community, and things like that. I love when they put in these health moments, because we do have that stigma that a lot of us do not go to the doctors, especially like black men. They don't go to doctors just because they don't like the doctors. And then, for us black women, it's hard for us to trust, even as a whole, as a community coming together. It's hard for us to trust the care that we get from these medical doctors, because half the time, or most of the time, they don't want to give us the care, and they're not being very concerned, and they're not listening to us, and they're basically treating us less than. So therefore, we have no trust in them. And so, even though this is going on, I love the fact when we had these shows and they put it out there, baby, it is about to storm, and I'm so glad I was able to get to the store and back. Yes. And this didn't mess up my TV. Get it out the way now. Y'all hear? Get it out the way now. I might have to turn my air off. But, yeah, because we deal with fibroids, we deal with breast cancer, and we deal with high blood pressure. And the fact that she put that out there, I was so glad, because there's a lot of people that deal with high blood pressure, and that's the means for y'all to get checked, okay? I used to have borderline high blood pressure, but once I changed my diet, once I started exercising a little bit more, eliminating things out, I started getting that in control. I never really was on a high blood pressure medication, but I did have to take a water pill at one point, but that's neither here nor there. I'm good. The only thing that I'm taking right about now is for iron deficiency. That's it. And so, we got to get ourselves in check. And she was like, 3 weeks she was going around with a headache. 3 weeks she was going around with a headache and didn't know what it was, okay? She's just thinking that, I don't know, it was something else. She just had a regular headache or it was her sinuses or whatever. I said, oh, no, baby. I was with Willie when he said, girl, you know the difference between a sinus headache or when it's your sinuses messed up or whatever, because, baby, that is a beast in itself, okay? I do not wish a sinus headache, sinus infection, or anything on anybody. That is hell, okay? But, she had to get that in order. She said she don't want to get taken out early. And so I love that moment. She out here doing these projects. One of these little proposals that she put out there didn't get, approved. So she got to meet up with the board or whatever, and they're going to suggest something else. But yeah, she's trying to get the girls together, and she wound up doing that. Well, we'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about Latrice. Latrice and her friend Amanda, she gonna meet her friend Amanda and also Jay. Is this Jay or Johnny? We gonna call him Jay, okay? I just know it begins with a J. They meet up at this aerobatic yoga with the ribbons and stuff like that. Oh my goodness, they was doing that. I seen this lady do that on Instagram. When they just had those random videos that goes across like that and you just click on it or whatever. I clicked on one. Girl, she was up there. Mind you, she was trying to teach the people. I guess she didn't get in the ribbon right. So, because when you're supposed to wrap it around your legs or wrap it around your body, so when you just release and it goes down like that, it's supposed to stop at a certain point and you're not supposed to hit the floor. Baby, she ain't had that thing wrapped around because she didn't even go like this. She fell straight to the floor on her side. I said, oh my God, thank God it was a mat underneath that girl. I said, oh my God. Imagine everybody was so shocked. They was just standing there like this. Nobody moved. I said, y'all not going to check and see if she okay? So that's all I was thinking about when they was doing that aerial stuff. I said, oh, I would love to try something like that. But I got to get slimmer. You know what I'm saying? I got to get a little more weight off of me. And then I'll be able to do it. Just get outside of what I'm normally used to. And so, yeah, her friend was there. Jay was there and all that stuff. And basically, they had this conversation because I just don't get how come he don't get where she was coming from in the beginning. Well, maybe he did, and he just didn't like the fact that they were not talking. And it's so crazy that they still work together, and yet, like they said, they just passing each other, and the dynamic has changed, and they still hadn't talked before that. And I'm glad she didn't fire him though. Because they do have a friendship, and that's why she didn't fire him. And sometimes you just need to put your friendships and your friends on pause when they do something. You know what I'm saying? You don't want them necessarily out your life. You just got to put them on pause, kind of like a little bit of punishment because you're not supposed to do this. And then y'all get back together. And that's just what it was. They had this conversation, and basically what it all boils down to is she felt a way about him spreading her business, and he didn't really spread it, but it's who he told it to. Because, and I'm not even gonna say, well, yeah, spread it, because it's who he told it to. Because Akeisha wound up telling Marie and them that it's issues going on in the relationship, not saying who told her. But then you saw when so Gucci and him and Akeisha was talking about it, even though he wasn't giving much. She brought it up in front of So Gucci, so the whole group is already talking about the dynamics of Cliff and Latrice's relationship. It's not, you can't miss what's going on. You really can't. Okay, you can't really turn a blind eye to what's right in front of your face. But it's the fact that you're my friend, you're my best friend, and you're going off telling somebody else that I'm not necessarily that close to. Okay, and she was like, if you wanted to tell somebody, even Amanda said, you could have told me. But I get what Jay was coming from too. He was like, well, I'm not close to her, so why would I say something? And I'm going to vent to a friend that I'm actually close to. So I feel as though maybe you could have vented to a family member. I don't know. Put it on your Finsta, okay? Put it on your fake Twitter account or whatever. I don't know. Stuff like that. You don't go and tell people business that are not in a good place with that person like that, and you don't know the status of their friendship level. And then the fact that Latrice literally said, you telling these girls, or you telling Akeisha, knowing that I'm not cool with how these girls treat me or how I am perceived in this group, you know. And she's 100% correct. And I understand that he was frustrated. I'm pretty sure he didn't mean it with malice, you know. He was concerned. I just didn't like them that, you know, he told who he told. And even though you didn't know Amanda, you're concerned, y'all both are really good friends to Latrice. Jay, you could have, is it Jay or Johnny? I think it's Johnny. I really do think it's Johnny. You could have called her up or asked to speak with her or whatever, some way, somehow, and vent your frustrations to her. And so that if it would have got back to Latrice, she wouldn't have been as upset, because it's Amanda and she's probably already talked to her about her relationship, and y'all all are close to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? With Latrice, you know. So they're gonna be okay. I feel like they're gonna be okay. Moving on from that, we see JJ with his grandson. Star comes over, and her husband and the grandson, and, you know, having a little conversation and asking when is So Gucci gonna be able to see the baby. And I'm like, what? Only reason why I'm laughing is because, you know, I feel like Star, you know, and then they was trying to keep it cool, calm, and collected in front of the cameras, because I feel like as soon as them cameras went down, the real them came out and said, what you thought? You really thought that lady ain't finna see my child? At not one point. Because JJ said So Gucci filed charges against Selena, and he said he was 100% on her side with that. He was backing it. I know he's backing it because that's his wife and he has to show support or whatever. But at the same time, I still would have said, no, I'm not. I wouldn't have wanted to do that. I would have said, let's handle this in-house. I understand we was all feeling as though we were moving forward, but obviously y'all wasn't moving forward the way that y'all thought y'all was, if this little thing was something that could pop off from a person that really doesn't do anything like that. And that's what they were saying at the dinner. They said, Selena don't fight. Selena don't do that. So obviously something happened or was still going on that would cause that to pop off like that. And so therefore, y'all living in a land of non-reality to say that you thought that you was moving forward. Obviously not. Obviously not. And I'm not just putting it on Selena, I'm putting it on So Gucci too. Everybody has a part in this, you know what I'm saying? And the relationship and the everything is just all messed up right now. And then you add on to it that you want to file a police report. And I know some people would be like, well, yeah, I'll file a police report too. But in my mind, I would feel as though the family is already broken. You up here wanting to see your grandbaby, or I say at this point, I want to be petty, your step grandbaby. You want to see the grandbaby, and you don't know when you're going to be able to see the grandbaby, but then you want to file a police report and charges against their mother, and you really think that they're going to be like, oh, So Gucci, you can come and see the baby anytime you want to, whatever, even though you filed a police report against my mom. You know, no, that's just not what's going to happen. And that's going to just further divide y'all, further make issues worse, because I just know that wouldn't make me want to be receptive to anything that you have to say. I wouldn't want you file police charges on my mother, and in a situation like this, you file police charges on my mama, and you think that I'm gonna still be talking to you? You think I'm gonna want you around me in any type of way, or around mines of any type of way? No, it's never gonna happen, and our relationship is done so. I don't care if you're married to my mom. I don't care if you're married to my father. I don't care who you're married to, who you with, who whatever. The relationship is over and done with. You put a kibosh on that. You ended that, okay? Because we could have possibly talked it out. You could have let this shit calm down, and we could have handled this in-house some way, somehow. But you want to take it, and I felt like So Gucci did that to be petty. I feel like she did that as a get back, and I understand it. If it was somebody else, I get it. But if y'all already in this messed up relationship, it's just gonna mess y'all up even more. That's what I'm looking at it for. I know people like, you know what, you put your hands on me. Yes, she has a right to file police charges. Yes, she does. But if you're thinking logically in the situation that you're in, and you want everybody to be on the same page and it's blended family and to get back together, this is not helping. This is not helping. You know what I'm saying? And JJ is kind of making me look different at you a little bit, but it is what it is. Later on, Akeisha and So Gucci, they do meet up, and she's telling her about the brunch or whatever situation that she got going on, telling her about the high blood pressure, telling her about, I think she said something about Latrice, Letitia and Glenn and Cliff. And that whole situation. Yeah, she did. Because that's when So Gucci was like, I mean, why is Cliff telling Glenn that when Letitia wasn't even doing nothing? You know what I'm saying? And talking about, again, Latrice's relationship with Cliff. We don't have to reiterate it. We know that it's ass. You want to feel bad, and I do. I don't know if she feel like she's stuck up in this situation. I don't know what it is with Latrice. I don't. You are too pretty of a girl. You still have your youth about you. You are independent to a certain extent when it comes to business. You can get into a relationship where, if you believe in that, being submissive to your husband, and there's a difference between being submissive and being dog walked. Okay, submission does not mean that you do every single thing that he says or that your wife says, and you have no control over your life. That is not what submission in a relationship means, especially not in this day and age, okay? That is not what it means. And you are being taken advantage of, and you are being controlled, and you just don't see it. It was so awkward when they were sitting at that table with them just together. Like, I just don't see what they have in common. I really don't. When Latrice and Cliff were sitting at that table, it's like he don't know what to talk about. They don't know what to talk about. That's what it felt like, and she was like, I like doing these couples days. It just felt not unnatural. And not unnatural because they're together. Unnatural because there's no chemistry. I don't see it. Okay? It really, at this point, looked like she's there for because she need a daddy. And that's probably why she putting up with it, because she needs a daddy and she wants a male figure to tell her what to do. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a kinka. I don't know. It's just weird at this point, and I want her to get out of it. And Akeisha did call her down there because they thought they was going to do a double date with Akeisha. Come to find out, they're doing a triple date with So Gucci and JJ and Akeisha and Willie. And so Gucci and them get there, and they was like, what? And so it's awkward, but they actually was getting along for the most part. And Akeisha set this up because she basically wanted everybody to get along, or she wanted them to go ahead and talk and fix their issues. And that's what it is. Like, sometimes I'm not even mad at Akeisha for doing what she did, trying to get them together, because it seems like it worked. Because when Letitia tried to do it, Letitia did it in front of the whole group, and she made this big production about it, and the other stuff that was going on kind of spilled into what was going on with them, which probably made them heated and not wanted to really listen to each other, and it got so argumentative and combative. But now we're in this place where we don't want to act a fool. Okay, we're with Akeisha, who doesn't act fool in public, and she's relaxed. We see her dressed down to a certain extent and more casual than she does. And, they're just having conversations and even acknowledging the fact that they're not getting along and, what happened and all that stuff. Akeisha do come, and of course, So Gucci prior to that was feeling some type of way, but now she realizes, because even Latrice was saying that she wasn't here for what Selena did. You know what I'm saying? And so now So Gucci realizes that Latrice didn't set that girl up. And she was like, I don't understand why you would think that I would do that in the first place. I said, I mean, because y'all was getting into it or whatever. Y'all had words, whatever. But that's why. But you know, it is what it is. Cliff, on the other hand, JJ had mentioned about the fact that he had the party, and he said, I hope y'all enjoy yourself. And Cliff was like, that ain't my type of party. I enjoy myself because that ain't my type of party. I don't do nothing. I was like, ew, sir. At the end of the day, like, his face turned so disgusted. He was like, because I don't do that. I don't do that. That's fine that you don't do that. That's fine that that's not your cup of tea. And if it's not your cup of tea, you could have left. But you was so bent on telling us how big that man penis was. I was really confused, okay? Like, well, how many times you going to say that it's 15 inches? How many times you going to say that? You know? And it's just like, it's his wife. JJ did that for his wife. He didn't necessarily do it for you. He did it for his wife and her friends, okay? And if you felt the issue about it, you could leave. It wasn't for you, okay? And then talk about some, because a person with dignity wouldn't do nothing like that. And this is coming from the person that they say is insecure. I said, what? So you don't have fun with your wife? This is why people say what they say about y'all relationship. And he's so set in his ways and so old that he don't care. He don't care. Because again, he's older and he's set in his ways. And it's just like, whatever. But anyway, so Gucci and Latrice seem like they're okay. I ain't gonna say they're good, they're okay. Cliff is just a lost cause. I just don't know. But that's basically the episode. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about it. And thank goodness. Oh, it already did it. Okay. Oh, my bad. Let me get up off here, girl. I'll see y'all later. Peace.